Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 77. And just leaving home. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'll catch you up on what's going on right now. I have been through so much frustration here the last few months, and every time I pull out of it, it seems to suck me back in. Now, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm still going up. I'm still making money, still doing all right, but keep hitting these big barriers over and over again, an unusual amount of barriers that, based on the way that I play and the way that I do things, I rarely end up in these situations. And I've just been hitting multiple ones back to back, as what happened in the last episode. So, I got home was Saturday morning from my long day Friday, and when I first bought this car, obviously I bought it used, and it had a problem with the left turn signal. It would blink really fast, which means one of the bulbs is burned out, or there's some kind of other issue with the electrical. Could be a fuse, could be a relay switch, could be something like that. But anyway, I took it over to my brother's house, and we worked on it. We had to take the wheel off, all these different guards off, and finally got in there, pulled the light bulb out, and it turned out that there were two bulbs in there. One of them was burned out. That was the fog light. That was unrelated. And then as far as the turn signal one, that one looked like it was okay. We replaced it anyway, still doing the same thing. Check the fuse, that's fine, and we'll be checking some other stuff later. But we put everything back together. Now my fog lights both work instead of just one of them, which I didn't even know how to use them before. I never had a car that had fog lights like that. And then one of my license plate lights was burned out, so I got that replaced as well. So we're in pretty good shape here. When it's my left turn signal, and my turn signal in the back works fine. There's a turn signal on my mirror, which is fine. So it's just the left front turn signal, so it's not even a big deal. But anyway, right now it is, well, I don't know what the temperature is, because when we did all this, we jacked up the front of the car, and the car thought it was being towed, so it put itself in some kind of a weird towing mode, and then the battery died. So I don't know if that was part of the towing mode. You're not supposed to be able to start it while it's on an incline or something, but anyway, we jumped the battery. It worked fine, and everything's back to normal. But then when I got in the car to leave, and then again just now when I left home, it showed the temperature outside as minus 40 degrees. So yesterday it moved up to about 36, which is still colder than what it is, even though it is pretty cold today. But right now it's slowly moving back up. It's up to like minus 2, but I don't know why it's doing that. Now it's a 0. So anyway, we are heading out. I'm going to have to stop for gas pretty early on in my trip, and then like within 50 miles, and then before I get home I'll have to fill up again. So that's what's happening right now, and I'll be back to update you. Alright, anyway, I lost my train of thought earlier, but one other thing I wanted to talk about is I want to have a goal today of $5,000 for the day, so which is a pretty big goal, but I think I can do it. I'm just going to play more tables, take my time, do things right, have a bigger spread, and just sit there as long as I can and get as many hours in as possible, and just try to make $5,000 today. We've got slots, we've got blackjack, we got a lot of things going on, and I do need to be home by 8 a.m. I've got a meeting with some teachers at 8 a.m. So at the very latest 8 a.m. and hopefully get home earlier than that with some money in my pocket, and be able to get some sleep before that meeting. But if not, I'm willing to stay out as long as possible and try to get those hours in, unless there's just no chance of making money. The tables are closed or crowded or whatever. So Yeah, we're going to try to push it today. Right now it's cloudy outside. I believe the temperature is in like the mid 40s, so it's a cold day, but you know, that's what happens. Just like springtime, fall. It's 38 degrees actually, according to my Nest at home. So pretty chilly, but hey, we're in the car. We'll be fine. Yeah, other than that, just a lot of emotions and things I'm going through right now with these ups and downs, and I don't know. I just, you know, a friend of mine sent me a chart that he had, and he's gone a couple of 100 hours now breaking even, and finally broke through, and I hope he's still above that break even point. But man, those things, they just kill me, man, because it makes you reevaluate and second guess. And it's like, I know it's the cards, I know it's the variance on the slot machine, but you just keep thinking, did I make a mistake? And that's what kind of forced me into lowering my minimums that I play from $50 or $100 down to like $25 lately. And I'm still making the same money, but now I'm like second guessing the other way, saying, well, if I just played my normal game, I would have made $4,000 instead of $1,000 on that session. But at the same time, then you have days like 2 days ago, Friday, where I had huge losses, and they would have been $12,000 and $15,000 and $18,000 losses. So anyway, just always going through that in the back of my mind about what the best way to do things is. But I know long run, it's okay. It's just medium timing, you know, stress, not long term. So it's a short term and medium term pain for long term gain. So everything will be cool. And when I finally get on the highway, I've gone through so many lights here. When I finally get to the highway, get on the open road, I'm sure things will start to look up, and we'll have our positive attitude back, and everything will be fine. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. Just finished up at the first casino, and as I am exiting their driveway and getting ready to get on the highway to move on to the next casino, weather is better. Temperature seems to be up, although again, I still don't have accurate temperature readings in the car. It shows 21, so let's look at the weather channel. It looks like it's 42 now, so you could tell it was a little bit warmer. The sun is out, still kind of cloudy outside, but this place was completely busy, and I understand why. They had a giveaway in there, and it was something worth something, so it wasn't like a $2 knick-knack or doohickey or something. It was actually something worth a couple bucks. And so I go in and I'm looking around, and I see a play. Lady is just finishing up. She's just running out of money. It's under $1 a spin, and I'm ready to get on there. So it's an older lady, and she gets out her phone, and her daughter has a voucher, and she Venmos her daughter. I'm like, what? So the daughter brings out this, I've never used Venmo, but she has the QR code. She scans the QR code and buys the voucher from her. She sends her exactly that much money. So I move on. I come back later on, and the daughter is sitting in the chair, and the mother is gone, and she went to get more money. And then again, she went to get more money. So at under $1 a spin, that's a little bit ridiculous, and I probably would have lost a little bit of money on there, but I really don't know how fast she was spinning it or how much money she was really putting in it. It seemed like she was putting in 100 at a time, but I wasn't really positive. So I let that one go. And then there was another couple opportunities, one at about $6 a spin on a newer game, and those people were there forever, easily put a couple $1,000s in that game, and it was still going on when I left. Saw about 7 or 8 people checking machines there, and it was busy. And I took pictures of about 8 machines that were shut down that were all beatable machines. So another casino removing those machines. So whatever, there's other ways to skin a cat. No problem. You know, one of the problems I had right now was I had so many ways that I couldn't focus on one. So it's all right. It's cool. But I ended up just playing a few things, and ended up leaving with $131 in cash and prizes. So $131 there. And moving on to another casino where we're going to play the majority of our blackjack. So hopefully we can get some nice long sessions in and fruitful sessions with some nice bigger spreads, we hope, just depending on the atmosphere, how busy it is, the dealers, the pit bosses, all that jazz. So I'm trying to think, did I have some chips for this area? I don't think so. I'm not 100% positive. I'll have to check and see if I have any for over here. But yeah, so everything's okay, feeling all right. There were some very big plays that were just stuck there that people were playing that I would have loved to sit down at, but you know, wasn't meant to be right now. And I wasn't gonna sit there for an hour waiting for them. So, especially with all the other people in that area. So, right now we're gonna move on, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, let's see if I can get this in before someone gets in the elevator with me. All right, so I go into this next place, and I'm just looking to get some action in, some table time in. I want to make some money, and I'm getting like stopped at every chance. So I find a table at the edge of the casino in the middle of nowhere. I go to that one, I sit down, I'm by myself, it's looking good, I start playing, and I play for about 5 minutes, and a group of people come to the table and sit down. They're buying in slow, they're taking their time. So I'm getting all like, come on, let's go, let's get moving here, I want to make some money. It was a negative count, ended up getting up, walking away from that table, and at that point I was ahead 175. So take my chips, move on to another table, and sit down there, start playing. I get a couple shoes in, all negative, all the way through, and then a guy comes to the table, it's super negative, he's slow, he's taking his time, he's second guessing my stuff. I am using deviations because the count is so high and so low, and he's not very happy with me. But dude, you came to my table, it's not my problem. Finally end up leaving that one about 2/3 of the way through his shoe with a very negative count, and end up continuing on here. I got up and was walking around looking for other things, and then ran into a friend of mine for the second time during this session, and he's gonna head over to another place. I think I'm just gonna text him that I'll meet him there, and we're gonna see if we can make some money over there. I don't know if we can or not. I was just telling him, I feel like I've been so spoiled over time with good stuff that now, like when, by the way, that second table, I ended up leaving that one ahead 125, so total of 300 profit between the two. But it's like I was telling him, I feel like I've been so spoiled that when I'm not winning big, or when I do have bad days, then I'm getting upset because I feel like, hey, I wanna make this money. Why am I not making this money? So anyway, you know, yeah, it's a mental thing. And I said to him, I feel like going back to the beginning, the way I started playing, and say, okay, right now I just want to make $100 and do things the right way and do things steady. And now I want to make 200 and build it up, and, you know, make sure I'm doing everything right, because one of those last sessions there, I had a negative count and I didn't bet the minimum bet. I bet just above minimum bet, but why am I doing that? I'm losing EV. It's not a lot of EV, and it's not the, you know, 50 cents that I just lost by doing that or less. It's the fact that I wasn't doing it right, and I have to make sure that I am, and especially in these times when things are kind of up and down and having some rough sessions, I want to make sure I give myself the most opportunity and the biggest to make money. So definitely don't want to be in a situation where I'm making small mistakes that can add up to real money. So yeah, right now I had 2 short sessions there. I'll be back later probably, but we're going to move on to another place and see if we can find some opportunities there. And I'll come back and update you. Hopefully we can find a slot at a high denomination that has some opportunity, and we can take advantage of it. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and went on to this next casino, and things did not go well. We looked at slot machines together, found one we wanted to play, played that together. We split it and lost about $94 a piece on that one. And then I continued on another play and ended up losing on that one, which I lost a total of $831 by that point. And then I played some blackjack, which we'll get back to in a minute, and then played some slots again and won about $80 back, $81 back. So that put me down $750 on the slots. And then the blackjack, the blackjack was not very good. It was about as bad as could be. Sat down, bought in for 500, lost every single hand. And another 5, lost every hand, and another 5 won one hand. So I was instantly down 1,500. There were 3 tables that were playable. I was playing on the first table. That one went to garbage with a huge negative count. I move on to the second table. That one goes to garbage. I move on to the third table, and that one does terribly. Go back to the second table. This is all because the counts were so negative. I couldn't stay at the table anymore. It was just that bad. And I ended up buying in for a total of 4,600. And at my low point, I was minus 4,300. And I ended up leaving down 3,500, and I did a small spread, like a 1-to-6 spread, and it's just like I don't know what else I can do. I don't know. It's just bad variance. I hardly had positive counts the whole time I was there. Probably put out max bets one time in 2 hours. At my high point, I was even. It was the first hand. That was my high point. I don't know what else I could possibly have done on that table to make things any better. There was nothing I could do. In fact, I probably lost the least possible. It was just terrible. So right now I'm going to move on to another casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and just scraping by the bottom here right now. Doing everything I can. I'm fighting and doing everything I can. I played one slot. I made $3. I played a low-limit blackjack table until it was not possible to play anymore because of too many people. And on that table, I made $270. So something. Here's my issue right now. It's already very late. And if I go straight home right now, it's already going to be very difficult to get a lot of sleep. But there was one more casino I was going to hit. I'm not going to hit it. I am, however, going to continue on to another area where there's another place I can go. So we'll do that. So that session was about, I want to say about 35 minutes or so, which is pretty good considering how busy it is. And right now in the city, there was an event going on, so there were a lot of people here, very crowded tables, people coming in with a $25 table bet and playing it and leaving, and another person, I think that happened 3 times while I was playing, so a little bit annoying, but you know, whatever, we got through it and made a little bit of money back, and we're just going to keep clawing at it. And I don't know what to say right now. I really don't. And you know, I watch these YouTube videos with poker players and stuff on there, and they go through their downturns and they talk about how bad it feels, and I know exactly how they feel, but they know they're doing the right thing, but it never feels good. And then you look at the chart and you're like, yeah, I guess I'm okay, but man, that's real money, so it's a little bit annoying to give it to somebody who has no clue what they're doing. This dealer also was not a very good dealer. I was able to see a bottom card a couple times. It didn't make any difference. And then I had a blackjack that she couldn't figure out how to pay out, and she was going to wait for a pit boss to come out to help her, and I was able to walk her through it. And I said, okay, do this part first and then break this down, and she was able to do it. But are you really ready to deal if you can't multiply by 1.5? I mean, most of it's not even multiplying, it's just color to color. It's pretty easy. So, and then when I was coloring up also, she couldn't figure out how to stack the chips properly. The bigger chips are closer to you than full amounts of the smaller chips, and then partial amounts of the smaller chips are further away. So, and she didn't know that at all. But I don't know if it's her first week or what. The table was a little bit slow, but not too terrible, especially when I was playing by myself. I was probably still getting 125 an hour, even though I prefer at least double that, but that wasn't really that bad. So anyway, right now just gonna sulk in my grief a little bit as I continue on to the next casino. And as they said in Shawshank Redemption, they crawled through a mile of poop and they came out clean on the other side, and that's what I'm doing. I'm crawling through that stuff right now, and I'm going to come out clean on the other side. Everything's going to be fine. Moving on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. Man, a lot of information to give you here. Don't know where to start here exactly. So, I did a little live session while I was driving and talked to some people and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And walked into the casino, looked around, found a couple tiny plays, made like $78 on those. And then I see a play. This lady has it on the screen, and it's a new game. It's a controversial game, and that's the one that I lost the $850 on earlier today. And she was playing and playing and playing, and then she would go to the ATM and play, and go to the ATM and play, and it was just dragging on and on and on. And we've all been really thinking about whether or not this machine is worthwhile, and there's a way to calculate if it's worthwhile or not, but so far it has not been great for us. So I started watching it, and I noticed there's another guy watching it. So I thought, okay, well, I should take another lap and see what happens here. I actually, earlier than that, I had just wrapped up looking for the first time, and I was ahead, whatever, $78. And I got some food before they closed up, because they closed at midnight. Got some food. I got a double cheeseburger, no bun. It was pretty good. And then I started walking around again. I saw a friend of mine. I don't know what the heck he's doing here. He doesn't have a car, and he hangs around the casino all day. And if he finds a play, he'll play it, and if he doesn't, he'll just waste the money on the other place. When I saw him, he didn't notice me. I was standing right beside him for a while, and he was playing a machine at 1 cent per spin. One line, 1 cent per spin. And he said he had gotten 50 cents up to $3 on that machine. I don't know how long that took, but that sounds very agonizing. At a penny, I would rather be at home in my nice warm bed than be hanging around there. But so he and I talked for a little bit, and we met another guy and talked to him for a little bit while we were waiting to see what happened with that lady and the guy who was watching it. And my friend is like, don't worry, I can get that guy to leave. I'm like, I don't think you're going to get him to leave. He's watching pretty closely, and he's really close to where she is. So she hits a bonus or something, and you have to push the button for the bonus to run. And she ran over to the food area and picked up her dinner before she came back and started the bonus. And it looked like she was going to be there for a while. We walk away like 20 feet, and we look back, and the guy is sitting there. She had just left, and the guy was sitting there. And he played, and he said that he ended up losing $60 on the play, but I know she was down over $1,000, and then he was in it for about $300. So it almost seems like, although there's something to it, it's still a negative play. There's other machines like that too, that even when they're paying out under 100%. So it's still not worth it. So that may be one of these machines. I don't know. We'll have to get some more numbers together and see. But I played a couple other small plays, and then I was getting ready to leave when I saw that this guy was wrapping up his play. I ended up ahead, I believe, 144. Yeah, 144. And so this guy was getting up, and I talked to him about it for a minute. Seemed like a nice guy. And he knows all the same people that I know. He talked to me about that play, that big play, about 3 or 4 weeks ago at the 3 different levels. And his friend had found it at 2 in the morning. And my friend had found it at 5 in the morning. His friend looked at it at 5:30. My friend looked at it at 6 in the morning. And then one of the poker guys called the guy in Texas. And then the poker guy's parents were holding the machine for the guy in Texas to come play it. So now I have the whole complete story about what happened. And allegedly, I've said so many different numbers. This guy claims it was $177,000 in profit, but who knows? And he had already seen the pictures and stuff. So, yeah, well, he said that he wants to know what the rule is about saving a machine. Now, I know if you're a certain tier, you can save a machine with certain casinos for up to 4 hours. Well, that would have almost got the guy from Texas there. Then at that point, if there is a rule that you have to be spinning, how often do you have to spin? Once a minute? Once every 15 minutes? Once every 5 minutes? Can someone else come down with a high-level card and lock it for another 4 hours? And he wanted to know the answers to these questions. And I'm like, why would you want to know the answer to that? Because all it's going to do is bring heat on yourself. The only thing you can really do is have someone else who's not going to play in this area ask, and who knows, they may change the rules. But even if you played the minimum, which is $5 on that machine per spin, and you only have to spin every 2 to 5 minutes, you still could have held it for a long time for less than $1,000. So I don't know what the exact rules are, but we talked about that for a while and finally ended up leaving. So, all right, so right now we're going to continue on. Let's talk about our segments here real quick. What did you eat today, MW? And I had about 3 pieces of chicken breasts, 3 smaller pieces, like medium pieces of chicken breast with some salad this morning around noon-ish, 11:45 noon. And then I just had that double cheeseburger, no bun. And other than that, just had some drinks and stuff. So not a lot today. The double cheeseburger, maybe an 8 on a scale of 2 through ace. It was pretty half-assed, honestly. They kind of just did the minimum on it. It really was not that good. The chicken breast was excellent this morning because I'm the one who grilled it. So I can't say anything bad about it. The salad was pretty good. Put some blue cheese dressing on that. That was all right. And what did you tip today, MW? Well, I had 4 sessions of blackjack and made a profit on 3 of them. And got my butt kicked on the 4th one, which was way more than I made on the other 3. And I tipped a total of $0 today. And as far as slot machines, I also tipped $0. So what didn't you tip today? I tipped $0 today. So that's what's going on right now. The temperature in my car is still screwed up, so I don't know what the deal is. But I can tell you, what the temperature is at my house, which is hours from here, but the heat's on. It's 32 degrees at home, so yeah, it could be about 20 here. Maybe the thermostat is working, but anyway, that's where we are. I'll be back. All right, guys, just stopped for some fuel and continuing my trip. Another 100 miles or so, and we'll be home. And that'll give us about 3 hours sleep, and then get up for tomorrow. I have to go to the kids' school in the morning. We'll be showing up to work late, and then so I may only get one session tomorrow to try to make some money. So we'll see what happens. But we'll turn things around here. You know, what more can I say? So right now, continuing my trip home, and I will talk to you tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.